Hi everyone. Happy Monday. I am recording this video on a Monday. I was supposed to record it earlier over the weekend, but I just didn't get around to it. But I'm happy to be able to do it today because my intent is for every Monday to have a Substack post come out and a video come out. And in my post this week, I talk about consistency and how to create consistency and what you need in order to create consistency. And in this video, I want to talk about something that I might get into a little bit more of into more detail on a post, but um, I want to talk about how to be consistent, to keep on being consistent when you don't see immediate results. So there's a statistic that I read, I think, or heard. I don't remember these days because we have so much content coming at us all the time. But something said that 99% of people who start a social media account with the goal of making it a business, 99% of them give up in the first year and they are no longer consistent. And only 1% make it. Only 1% can actually turn it into a business because they keep on being consistent over time. So I think it can be really difficult to stay consistent when we don't see immediate results. And I've seen this, and I've seen this quite a bit of people saying, "Oh, I'm gonna start a business. I'm gonna offer a service. I'm gonna offer something, and so I'm gonna use social media to get my word out there. So I'm gonna make videos or I'm gonna make posts, etc." And there's no strategy behind it. There's no consistency. And every now and then there's a new post that comes out or there's a video that comes out and it's really random and there's no schedule. There is no specific strategy. And these people, what happens is that they just don't get traction because they usually give up a few months after they started. And my reaction to that is, uh, well, what did you expect? Because I think it's important to be realistic and to understand what is needed in order to make something work. So, as a therapist, I like psychology, I like things, that have to do with mindset. And I really like looking at the world and understanding what is needed in order to make something happen. Because once you have the knowledge, once you have the understanding, then you can get to work. But if you believe that, well, I'm going to post 5 times a month sporadically, and I'm going to sit around and wait to get, I don't know, 10 clients in the first month. Again, I'm not saying that that has never happened, but I would probably assume that that is highly unlikely because there is no strategy, because the consistency is not there, and because people nowadays need to see you a lot of times before they make a decision. So to believe that something is going to come easy, I'm just going to put myself out there. Um, Not in today's world when everybody can be on social media. And I'm just talking about social media now as an example, but it can be anything. Like you don't have to use social media for your business, but I'm just giving an example. But once you understand that, okay, what is needed? Well, maybe you need to be consistent for 2 to 3 years to get traction. And what that means is maybe if you want to use social media as a way to market your business, maybe what that means is you need to post at least 5 times a week. So once a day for 5 days a week, at least. And you need to do that every single week for 2 to 3 years. And then we'll talk. And then we're going to measure it out. Then we're going to see what works and what doesn't. All right, let's just say 1 year. Let's just do it for 1 year first, right? Those are the measurements, those are the expectations. So once you have realistic expectations, then you can create a plan. And you just have to stick to the plan. And then you have to make the plan easy enough to be followed so that you can do it even if you have a crazy hectic week, even if something happens and it's a little bit difficult. Can you still follow this plan? And that is where consistency comes in. It's just showing up every day, every week, doing the thing you have to do. Maybe you won't get results for a while, but you keep putting in the work. And maybe you need a little bit of faith. Maybe you need support. You need community. You need to know that, hey, other people have done this and it has worked for them. So, therefore, I think I'm on the right track. I'm going to give it enough time. Now, I'm not saying that I'm a social media strategist, so I don't know exactly like how long it takes to get traction, how long, like none of that. I'm just giving an example. I'm just giving a pure example. And we can take just the example of losing weight, right? We can just think about it like that. How long does it take to lose weight and to maintain the weight? And usually you need to have habits that you need to do for at least a year in order to have those habits stick and be consistent. Usually 1 to 2 years. So I think if you apply that formula to business, if you apply that formula to anything else in life, there is a high chance, there's a high likelihood that you will get success. But yeah, it takes that long. And so you have to figure out a way to stay in the game so that it's not too hard, it's not too easy, it's somewhere in the middle, but you are consistently showing up. And if you do that, you are going to be able to understand what it takes to succeed. And you're going to be able to see, oh, hey, I've been doing it like this. Maybe it's not working so well, but maybe I can pivot and do something else instead. But what you have created during that time, you've created this habit of consistency, of showing up every single time. So even if something doesn't work, even if a strategy doesn't work, you still have developed this beautiful, useful habit of being consistent. And then you can take that and you can apply it to a different strategy and a different one and a different one and a different one until something works. So I think being realistic about time and about what is truly needed in order to succeed, which is consistency. And consistency means like really daily, weekly doing something to move the needle. I think once you understand that formula, you can go places. So, this is kind of what I wanted to talk about today, but I'm happy to expand on this more because I think it's so important. This idea of just showing up, the idea of having routines, being consistent, it's actually one of the most important things. So I'm happy to continue the discussion, but thank you for listening and have a lovely week.